All right, welcome everyone. This is it, the grand finale of our ISO 14064-1 Masterclass. You have made it all the way to the end, and seriously, this is your moment.
That's right. You are at the finish line. Think of this as your victory lap. We're going to celebrate everything you've learned by tying it all together one last time. So, what do you say? Let's take that lap and dive right in. Okay, first up, let's do a rapid-fire review. I like to call this the golden thread, It's that single idea that connects our whole journey, from the very first clause all the way to the last. Let's see how it all weaves together.
Our journey kicked off with the absolute basics, the core vocabulary. Remember the GHG statement? It's that factual, objective declaration about a company's GHG performance, and it's the entire reason we even have a verification process.
From there, we got into the real building blocks, GHG activity data. This is the nitty-gritty. The raw numbers, gallons of fuel, tons of material, miles driven, all the stuff that feeds into our calculations.
Then we defined a GHG source. It's pretty simple, really. It's any unit or process that actually releases greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. This is what we're tracking.
And of course, you can't have a source without its opposite, a GHG sink. This is any process that actively pulls those gases out of the atmosphere, like a healthy, growing forest. And all of that is built on the 5 pillars from Clause 4, right? Relevance, completeness, consistency, accuracy, and transparency. And listen, these aren't just buzzwords. They are the absolute bedrock, the foundation of any GHG inventory that's going to stand up to scrutiny. Then we got to Clause 5, and man, this was a big one, setting boundaries. And what's so important here is that choice you have to make between the control approach and the equity share approach. Quick tip for you, this is a classic exam topic, so you absolutely want to have this down cold.
Next up was Clause 6, which was all about the math. And really, it all comes down to this one beautiful formula. Activity data times your emission factor equals your CO2 equivalent. This right here is the engine that drives all of GHG quantification. We then tied it all together in Clauses 8 and 9, focusing on quality and reporting. This checklist from Clause 9 isn't just a to-do list. It's a verifier's roadmap. It's how you guarantee there's a clear, transparent, and auditable trail from a single piece of data all the way to that final report.
All right, review complete. Now let's shift gears from looking back to looking forward, right to your exam. Here's a little pro tip for you. When a question pops up, take a breath, read it carefully, and figure out what it's really asking. What's the clause? What's the principle? Then knock out the answers that are obviously wrong. Let's give it a shot right now.
Okay, first question for you. Think back to those 5 pillars of integrity we just talked about. If a company knowingly leaves out emissions from a small subsidiary they control, which one of those core principles did they just violate?
You've got 5 seconds on the clock. Think about it. 4, 3, 2, 1.
The answer is completeness. This principle is totally non-negotiable. It means you have to include all relevant emissions and removals inside your boundaries. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Awesome job! Okay, next up. This one's about assurance levels. Which one involves a deeper, more detailed, more rigorous audit? Is it limited or is it reasonable?
5 seconds again. This is a really key distinction for a verifier. And the answer is reasonable. And this is such a great example of the difference in rigor. Reasonable assurance demands a much deeper dive into the evidence, all to get that verification risk down to an acceptably low level. It just gives you a way higher degree of confidence.
Fantastic work on that quiz. Now, before we wrap up, I want to talk about one of the most common mistakes I see new verifiers make. I want to make sure you can sidestep this trap completely.
It's the classic mix-up between verification and validation. So here's the key, the absolute simplest way to remember it. It all comes down to time. Verification looks backward. It's all about confirming historical data, checking last year's report to see if it was correct. Validation, on the other hand, looks forward. It's about checking out the plans for a future project, like a new solar farm, to see if the whole thing is credible. So past versus future. See, it really is that simple.
And there you have it. You've put in the work, you followed that golden thread, you aced the PEP questions, and you know how to avoid the common traps. You are absolutely prepared for what comes next.
Look, this standard, ISO 14064-1, it's your tool.
And after going through this entire masterclass, you now have the knowledge and the framework to use that tool with confidence and with integrity. Your real journey as a lead verifier, well, it starts right now.
And with that, we have reached the summit of this incredible journey together. It has been an absolute pleasure guiding you through the standard. But you know what they say? Every summit just reveals a new one on the horizon.
So, a massive, heartfelt thank you for sticking with us through this whole masterclass from start to finish. You've officially done it. You've completed the entire series. Now do us a favor, please subscribe, share this with anyone who might need it, and you have to comment below with your certification success stories. We genuinely want to hear them. We can't wait to see you back here for our next series, where we're going to dive deep into the really cool world of GHG projects with ISO 14064-2. Until then, one last time, a huge congratulations.